All right, beautiful people. Today we're talking about translating figures in the coordinate planes. So the first thing that I want to talk about is what is a translation. And I know I gave you the definition yesterday, but a translation is a transformation that moves a figure the same distance, every point in a figure the same distance. Okay, and since it's moving each point in the figure the same exact distance, that means that this maintains the same shape and size. So this is a rigid transformation. So recall, rigid transformations mean that they're congruent shapes afterwards. So the image and the pre-image are both going to be the exact same thing. All right. So when I do a translation, I can draw myself a grid. Now, this is where grid paper is going to come in handy. If you have any, it is a good idea to be taking your notes on your graph paper right now. So let's say I have a pre-image. And the pre-image name is A, and it's at -2, 2. So this is A. This is my pre-image. Okay. If I were to translate A, I could translate it in any direction, but I have to decide on how many units to the right or the left and how many units up or down. So let's say I wanted to translate A four units up and 3 units to the right. Okay. So that means my x coordinate would add 3 and my y coordinate would add 4. So I'm going to start by adding 4 up. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've moved up 4 and then over 3. So I go 1, 2, 3. So here is my new A prime. Okay. And then this line that has just been formed between the pre-image and the image between A and A prime is called a vector. Okay. The vector is basically a directional and something that has direction and size. So the vector is represented by 2 coordinates inside pointy brackets. The first coordinate is how far to the right or left did I go? Well, I went 3 to the right, which means that I went +3. Because when you go to the right on a grid, you're adding 3, right? And my vector went up or down. So my vector went up 4, which again is positive because when you're on a coordinate grid, the positive numbers are to the top. Okay, so you'll notice that the first coordinate is how many went x and how many went y. So left to right and up and down. Okay, so the first is how far did you move on the x and how far did you move on the y. So my vector that translated A was the vector 3, 4. Okay, a lot of things just now happened here. Let's do another vector, and we'll start with B. And B this time is at 3, -4. This is the pre-image. Okay. And this time I'm going to translate B one up and 2 to the left. Okay. So I'm going to translate it 1 up and then 2 to the left. So I'm going to do just like I did last time. If I go 1 up, then I'm just going right here. And then 2 to the left, I go 1, 2. And here's my new B prime, or my image. Okay. And again, I've created a vector between B and B prime. And the vector starts with the x coordinate. How far did I move on the x? Well, I moved 2 to the left on the x. If I'm moving to the left instead of to the right, now I'm moving a negative amount. So I move -2. And then how far did I move on the y? So this is my x and here's my y. Well, I moved 1 up on the y. And since again, directionally, if I go up, I'm adding, this is going to be a +1. So this is the vector I used to map B to B prime. Okay. All right, questions. Make sure that you write them over here on the side. Question.